Steve.
From diapers
To departures.
our kids are grown.
And now it's our turn. Come explore the world with us. Colombia. So in the last videos that we put out was basically showing, our experiences in Colombia. But when it comes down to it, one thing you do want to take into consideration is, number one, financial costs of staying in Colombia and vacationing there, as well as, if you only could afford one, which one would you pick? And so that's what this video is about.
At the end, we'll let you know which one we preferred. All right, let's get into the budget. So we spent 34 days in Colombia. The first 15 days were in Medellin, and the rest of the time was in Bogota. So overall, the rent there was not too bad.
No, $11.96.
Yeah, so $1,196 for 2 apartments.
Spanning over a month.
Yeah, and if you're an expat there, you can get a much better deal if you sign a lease for a year. But if you're visiting short term and you need a furnished place, that's about as good as you're gonna get.
And we were honestly, we weren't like living in squalor, but we weren't, completely luxury. We were definitely comfortable in both places. I mean, there was lots of amenities in both places, so you're living pretty good. For under $1,200 for over a month, that's pretty good. It's one of the better places we've seen in South America, honestly, in terms of how to, of getting affordable lodging.
And the apartments are a little on the smaller side, but they give you everything you need. Both of the apartments have a pretty decent kitchen, so if you wanted to cook in, you could. They both fairly comfortable beds.
Yeah.
I mean, overall, I think the Bogota apartment
Much
was
better.
Nicer.
Yeah, it was better.
But the Medellin location
was better. Yeah. So I mean, we had pluses and minuses with both. Both were comfortable and both were affordable. Mm-hmm. So lodging in Colombia was pretty good. Transportation also wasn't too bad either. Yeah. For rental cars and metro and a lot of Uber, plus the flights into it.
1,051.
Which is pretty inexpensive. We started off fairly cheap when we were in South America.
Mm-hmm. And we even rented a car. So that did include our Ubers or DDs, included our flight, and the rental car that we did in Bogota. Mm-hmm. So I think that's actually really good for, 34 days?
Yeah.
Another big thing is food and drink. We like to eat out when we're traveling, and that's part of the best part of visiting another country and checking out the culture is the food. Experiencing
it, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then we tend to snack more, I think, honestly, when you're on vacation mode. And also you're not using, we do go to grocery stores and get stuff to like make, have eggs in the morning and cook, some burritos, but the fact of the matter is that you're not in your own kitchen. You're using cheap appliances.
Sometimes most of the apartments actually didn't have ovens, so that was another thing. But Colombia had really good food, so we ate out way more. Yeah, and that's why the price came out to $1,298.52.
We paid more for food than we did for lodging,
and we don't regret it because there were so many good spots. And for groceries there, we only spent $150.53. So. That was mostly for water and little snacks at night or beverages, but most of the food was out and about. And honestly, it's not too bad for having a personal chef every day for 2 meals a day.
And they were solid.
Another big thing would be entertainment. We didn't spend that much entertainment in that country.
But we did a lot. The thing of it is with Colombia is a lot of it's in the city that you can just go to. Mm-hmm. But then we also did a couple tours. We did one to what is it, Precinct 13 or something like that?
Yeah, Comuna 13 in Medellin. And we also did the tour to Jardín and España and Andes. So that wasn't that bad.
No.
The tours there were cheap. In Bogota, the tours were more expensive, which is why we did a self.
Yeah, in Bogota we did. We just got the car and we took off to a few different places. You watch the videos, see those. But entertainment not very expensive considering how much fun we had there.
Yeah,
So.
it was really, I really liked the Community 13 tour because it gave us a lot of history. We had a great guide. We met some fun people. So overall, I think the entertainment costs there are reasonable, if not very affordable. More so in Medellin.
Yeah, I would say Medellin was less expensive. Plus, they have the metro there, which makes it a little bit easier. And the tours were, obviously
Much
less.
cheaper. I guess internet's another big one.
Yeah, internet's always kind of a big, well, it hasn't been like the biggest problem that we've had is we upgraded our phones before we left, and when you got into the iPhone 16, they stopped putting physical SIM cards in, and
We didn't know that.
we didn't know that until we got down here, and they're like, now we only have regular SIM cards, and I was like, okay, and I'm just trying to find the door on the phone. There isn't one, so you had to look it up, and yeah, there isn't one, so you end up with eSIMs. And in country, the only place I think I've been able to get one is Peru, and that eSIM, which was way cheaper and it was way more efficient. It got signal better places. But we've ended up being with Airlo most of the time down here because of the fact that we can't get a regular eSIM. They all they sell is physical SIMs.
And that's a shame because
It is. It's
honestly,
way cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper. Now, granted, we do have our old phones, so we could always do that, but then we'd have to carry two phones, and we upgraded because the video and camera quality on the iPhone 16 is better.
We upgraded because both of our batteries were under 80% efficiency, so it was time to upgrade.
But I always upgrade also.
She talked me into it, but the fact of the matter is that we didn't want to go on a 1 to 2 year journey with phones that were dying and without the ability to get them, because in South America we have noticed that electronics tend to be a little more expensive.
Yeah, and we knew that. That's why we were like, let's do it now. Mine was overheating. I couldn't be outside in the sun without it like burning up my hand.
Yeah, she had what is it? Yours was a 14, so she had just updated. Mine was an 11 from the old world.
I had it for 3 years and it started doing that. So I don't know. They don't make them like they used to. But if you have a phone that still has the physical eSIM, you definitely want to bring that to Latin America in general because you'll get much better deals in person there.
Just make sure it's unlocked.
Claro's a good brand.
Claro and Movie Star, those are the two. You see them everywhere. So if you can manage to get one, that's the one.
Overall though, what would you pick, Bogota or Medellin?
For me, there was pluses and minuses to both, but honestly, Medellin is a more comfortable place. It's a little bit warmer, but it's still cool, So in terms of temperature, it's super comfortable. The gym situation, that's big for me. That was about the same in both, so it didn't really matter. Honestly, I thought the people were a little bit friendlier for some reason. Not by a lot, but it was noticeable. And just getting around is a lot easier there for some reason. I think because Bogota is so much bigger and it's so much more spread out, it's a little bit more difficult to get around. And then you add in the fact that you have the metros and stuff. And I think, honestly, Medellin was a little bit cheaper too. So I enjoyed my time there more, and it was less expensive, and life was a little bit easier there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I definitely, hands down, loved Medellin. I loved the city layout. I thought it was a very green city, lots of parks, lots of trees and flowers planted everywhere. A lot of people out and about, walking their dogs, jogging, or just playing sports. Like the parks were actually used. Everywhere you went, you would see people utilizing those spaces. And it felt like people wanted to get out and they wanted to socialize. Bogota was more of a big city feeling. The weather there was chillier. It was cloudy, overcast most of the time we were there. I don't know how it looks all year. We were there for the whole month of August. But the people were definitely more social and friendly in Medellin. Like even in restaurants, they wanted to know about us and asked us where we were from and would play around, joke with us, and I don't know, just was way more laid back. Whereas in Bogota, it was a little more business, and we had trouble with getting our Ubers sometimes in Bogota. Like we would have someone say yes, they're picking us up. We'd be waiting there. It'd say that they were arrived. We'd be looking, and then it would just get canceled. And I'm not sure why that was, but that happened numerous times, which is actually why Steve turned on Didi. We looked into that, and we started using that with no problem. But that was a little strange. I mean, it happened like
several times. It was a bit irritating, that's for sure. Another thing about Bogota is honestly it's a little dirtier. You know, it's not
as well.
Medellin is super clean, and it is super well kept, and everybody's proud of their city, whereas Bogota just didn't seem on the level of Medellin. So.
And you can see it in some of our footage, you know, walking around. Just we like to walk around, and I think it gives you a chance to really see the city. And as you walk around in Medellin, you know, you didn't see trash on the ground, so you also wanted to respect that while you were there. But when you were in Bogota, you would see it littered, and it was a little, I guess, disappointing in that aspect. And even though it was a bigger city, it felt so big that it was not as approachable, if that makes sense, because of the transportation issues. And stuff.
It was more of a journey to get different places, so it just made things a little more difficult, whereas Medellin was laid out to be, I mean, you could get anywhere for a couple bucks, you know, whether you're taking the train or an Uber, didn't really matter. I mean, you could get there no problem, very inexpensively, and then you get to eat very inexpensively. The only thing that was expensive is the gyms. That was a bit pricey. It was like $44 for the month, but the problem was that I was only there for 2 weeks, but I had to pay for a month. They wouldn't do day to day. I suppose if you were there for a full month, it's probably not that. It's not that bad.
Probably should have shopped around. We didn't get a chance to really look at other gyms, or you know, now Steve I think goes on a little bit of a quest, and he's able to get an idea of what the options are. You know?
I'll go on like a 2 or 3 hour walkabout, going from gym to gym and figure out which one I want. It's my day one cardio. I work out in one, the closest one, and then I walk around to find the rest.
Yeah, because in Medellin, that was the closer one to us, but there were so many gyms, and you know, I even did yoga out there, which I thought was affordable. It was like $10 US dollars per session, but you get discounts the more sessions. So there were options, and just kind of had to look around. The groceries were also fairly inexpensive in both places, so that was kind of equal. But yeah, I guess, you know, Medellin just kind of stole our hearts.
Yeah, for me, it's in my top 5 countries, because I mean, with this whole situation, we're also looking at places where we might want to live, you know, actually settle down. And Medellin made the list. I believe for me, it's the only South American city that has made the list thus far, in terms of top 5 of where I would want to be.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, all the places I definitely, like Costa Rica, I would love to go back and visit sometime, but I don't think I would want to settle roots there.
No.
Even though I love nature and everything, it was a little
too rural. And the city was, I mean, we wanted to get out of the city almost immediately when we were in the city. So yeah, it's like, it's just the infrastructure is not there for us specifically.
But who knows? We still have a few more places to go. So stick along with us and continue watching the journey.
See you later.